kind of in my pajamas, so let's not forget.
All
right.
I was in pajamas last
So
night.
just so we can record our conversation, because this is the good stuff, right?
Yeah.
So I think that went exceptionally well. The kids seemed really engaged. What was it like in your classrooms?
They were all like, one of my kids said at the end, "It's over." That the time went really fast. So they were very much so engaged in there. It was neat to see them. There were a couple of times as at the end, as the question, as they were done questions, that it was nice when you posted that little one at the side.
Yep.
They could go on to the ones that finished really fast.
Yeah. It was different for me because I had 60 kids and one person. I mean, I had help from other teachers, but which was awesome. And they let me have all of my kids. So that was even better. But there were some that were like right on the questions and others that were like, what? Where do I find this? Where do I find that? Where do I do this? Where do I do that? So it was nice that certain people were experts already.
Yeah, the kids, there were kids in my room that were really good at helping some of the ones get onto it, which was great. My LD kids had a harder time keeping up, but I'm fortunate I have an EA in my room who was writing out the questions and had a little group that she could help them to stay on task, because it goes really, really fast for them.
And my LD kids only had certain questions to answer. I gave them ones that they could answer up in advance, and so then they, as soon as they heard the question, they just copy and pasted their answer in.
Right.
Yeah. Having the questions ahead of time and doing a little bit of pre-writing around them, I think is really, really important.
Yeah.
I don't know how well it would go if he just said here. I don't know. Maybe down the road, as they learned more about it, it might work. But
I don't know, because you give us, like in our other ones that I've been a part of, they give the questions beforehand, whether it's a day before or a couple days before.
Yeah.
They give the questions, like the professional ones that I've done. Because like I knew all the ones last night before I even hopped in there.
Yeah.
You liked my heartstrings?
I did. Very, very much. Well, and I think it's helpful because not everybody can think that quickly on their feet. And you want to, if you're contributing to a conversation, walking into a conversation and not knowing what that's going to be about doesn't, I don't think, serve anyone. So I think it's good to have a discussion ahead of time. And I like that you're using the video provocation to sort of get the ideas flowing and have them do some writing ahead of time.
Yeah.
Having that greatness video, though, was like they immediately loved it and they attached to it. So the writing around that was so rich. Having that visual too, they love anything like that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And I was really impressed with the depth of responses, and also that after that, and those initial first two questions came out and they sort of started to see the flow of it, that they were able to start quoting each other and replying using a quote, and that whole piece too about adding their initials in, so we can personalize the conversation a little more, since you're using class accounts.
Yeah.
And they were quick to do that when it was pointed out to them, which is, they're quick thinkers on their feet to change. They're good with it, I thought.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I did too.
So how many questions did you have prepped for today?
There were 10. We can't do 10.
No, I think that was the learning that came out. Yeah, because it was about what, 5?
Yeah.
Yeah, and when we did our the hangout last night, I think we only had 4 questions, because that can take about an hour, right? If there's some really good discussion happening. Now, how long was your period? Was that 30 or 40 minutes?
It was 40.
Okay.
But we didn't get started right off the bat, so I think that if we maximum it at 5, then, because there were just too many questions.
Yeah, and I think once you've had more practice and experience, I think 5 would be a good number to land on.
And I think for my guys, they're a little bit younger. 40 minutes was a good time for them. Like it wasn't too long. Like it didn't drag out for them, but they had enough time. I think longer than that for my kids right now would be a little bit trickier for them.
And same with mine. You could hear how loud mine were getting.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, that was. But I mean, again, that's 2 classes in one room.
Yeah. But I think
I also
go ahead.
I also like today the fact that we needed this today. Again, I said it before. I don't think we will need it again, but I think that it was very beneficial for the 4 of us, and even for the students to see that we're learning too. That this is not something that we are the best at already. That we're learning as we go as well.
My kids like that. They like when I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah, of course they do, because then they recognize that we don't just know everything. Like, we go through that process of learning ourselves. And I think what you did today, and by making that learning visible through a hangout, was one of the best decisions you could have made, because your kids then see you having conversations with other teachers and like, this is how I learn, right? And I just so happen to be doing it during class time in the moment. Well, you know, we're all learning this together. So I think that was a brilliant idea. Plus it made the flow of the session really, I think it was more purposeful, because you could ask questions in real time as you were going through it, instead of working through one session only to then debrief after and realize, oh, you know what, if we could have changed this, and this, we would be that much further ahead in our learning.
Yeah, I mean, it was convenient for me to have Nicole in the building, but had she not been in here, like, it was just nice knowing somebody else was there. If you had a question, you'd be like, I don't, you know, I like that as well. I think that worked really nicely with it.
Absolutely. Well, and this connection to have Carrie Lynn at Blue Water, and then me snowed in here was, it's great that I didn't miss anything today, right? It was so nice to be a part of that, because we're working in using new technologies and working in digital environments. It was really interesting from my perspective, just to sit and watch what all the classes were doing and listen in on the conversations. Because I know Nicole's kids were really chatty, but they were talking about the Twitter chat.
Yeah. And I said to Nicole, like, if we could, I know April 2nd around there is like the international bullying, something like that. If we could find a video and think of some questions to maybe do as our next one, I don't know. We'll chat about it, and if you've got any good ideas.
Yeah,
I have a couple videos too. So
I think the video provocation is key. I think that's a great way to get, everyone needs to be inspired. And I think that's an inspire conversation. I'm wondering if down the road you want to consider too, co-creating the questions with your class, and maybe taking turns creating questions. So, you know, Nicole's class might create the questions, and Nicole, you can show them the, did you use Canva?
I love Canva.
Okay, so and show them the app that you used to create the images, and maybe, you know, give them a chance to design some of their images, and then choose, okay, let's use this image for this question. Are you already doing that?
No. I mean, the Twitter one.
I gotta go.
That's
Sorry.
okay.
Bye.
Yeah,
Thanks.
Fine. Awesome.
I mean, the Twitter one was totally 100% my Photoshopness.
Oh yeah.
But the other ones were all Canva.
Yeah, that's awesome. That is really awesome. And yeah, I think if the kids, they just add that another layer of engagement, and I think it's more empowering too if the kids are the ones coming up with the questions, and then down the road creating the images to go with them too. That adds another layer. Yeah.
My next thing is, like, I was posting the questions from like my teaching one, which was totally fine with me. It doesn't bother me. But do you think down the road we should go into like our own AMDSB so that it posts the question instead of like a staff, like the New Zealand one?
It could be, yeah. So maybe a conversation.
And then like the 4 of us are still the moderators, right?
Yeah, but someone will need to manage that Twitter account, because as much as it can be a shared piece, you really do need to have one person looking after it. So if that's something that, because if, I shouldn't even say if, when this chat gains more momentum, which it will, once we start sharing it and inviting other people to join in, people will start tweeting too at AMDSB Kids Chat and asking questions about it. So there does need to be someone there overseeing that. And Nicole, if that's something you want to do, I think that's outstanding. And, you know, see what Carrie and Melissa think, and they can still be a part of that and still,
for sure,
still moderate and check that Twitter handle. But Yeah, and the hashtag. I mean, the hashtag is key. All right.
Yeah.
That was awesome. You should be so proud. That was amazing.
Very
It was
happy.
such a cool experience. And then, not to mention all the amazing learning that was happening, the conversations about reading and writing and communicating and making meaning out of the information shared there it was exciting.
Yeah, we're gonna look at the stuff now, like once they're done lunch, and go from there and see if there's anything that we want to reply to.
Yeah.
Because there was a lot of stuff happening all at one time, and I know that some of them didn't just stop, and because they were trying to keep up and follow along. So we'll go
Yeah.
and debrief just like we're doing.
What the conversation is now after with your kids. I would be really curious to know what they thought about it and how they're going to manage content during the next session.
Yep.
Because it might not be so much trying to read everything coming through,
Yep.
but reading up into the point where something catches your attention and then stopping and focusing on that, and then you're kind of scrolling through it, and it almost slows you down, right? So you're in the moment, you're seeing what's coming through at a fast rate. And I'm still trying to work through that too, with the best way to do that. But I find it's something catches my attention, I stop and then reply to it. And then I can casually take my time kind of scrolling through things that we did after that. So it's once I stop, I set my own pace. And that's something that I'm just kind of discovering now, being a part of these chats. But I'm curious to know how your kids think they.
Okay, so you just said, sorry, I'm trying to open a document. So debrief. What students thought. Easy, hard. What was the other thing that you just said?
I would maybe just phrase it in 3 sentences. Like, so what worked well?
Yep.
What were some of the challenges? And what are our next steps really moving forward, right?
Yep. Okay.
And I think I think one of the questions I would ask is related to managing content. Like how do you manage all of this content? How are you taking it in? And how are you reading it, and how are you responding to it?
Okay.
And what are some of the strategies that you're using to do that? Because those are conversations that I think are really important, especially when you're doing something like this, where you have a feed that's moving so quickly. We need to think about the strategies, the new literacies and new reading strategies within that they need to comprehend the text that they're now engaging with.
Yeah.
Because it really is a different way to think about, because you don't, when you read print text, it doesn't move. It's not
it doesn't. And like my Twitter chat feed was like, you have to refresh it every so often to find everything, and sometimes the kids ones weren't refreshing, so they couldn't see everything. And
it's like these are quick ideas that are shared, right? So you're reading text that is moving. Like you're learning how to scan. You're learning how to scan until you find something that really speaks to you, and then stopping and reading it and giving it your attention, and then composing a reply that's
I found, okay, this is just me speaking, and I have both TweetDeck and Hootsuite.
Yep.
Because I didn't know which one I liked better.
Yep.
And so I 100% I like Hootsuite just a little bit more, because when I go to compose a tweet, I can choose whether I want it to be from Teach Miss K, Howick 7, or Howick 8.
Oh,
I have a choice of who's sharing that tweet, or I can share it with all 3 at the same time. Because it logs in all 3 accounts.
Right. And
that's just, because I did both, because I'm like, I don't know what the difference is, blah, 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 blah. And so I think that Hootsuite is my way to go. Not that there's anything wrong with the other one.
No, personal preference. And I've never used Hootsuite, so maybe I'll try that next time and just to see the difference. That was a good idea, though, to use them both in real time to compare what the feed looks like and how you can tweet your message. And Yeah. Now your kids weren't using either, right? They were just in their.
They were just in Twitter.
Okay. I think that's a good place to start. Otherwise, it can become
well, yeah, no,
overwhelming to begin with. You know, some of your I don't know if some of your debrief conversations too might include using some of the tools within the platform, like how you like something or retweet or quote tweet, right? The difference between replying to a tweet and quoting a tweet. Because when you quote a tweet, in essence, you are replying to it. I like the quote better because the context of your context that supports your reply. And without that context, it's sometimes hard to follow the conversation.
I agree.
Cool. All right. Well, listen, you're in the middle of learning right now.
I am.
Which is awesome. I'm going to let you go because I know your kidlets are going to come in and you probably want some time to think about.
That's all right. I can fly with, other things I can't.
Well, you flew today. It was awesome. Today was awesome. You should feel really proud. Your kids
Thank you.
Your kids gained a real valuable experience today, and I'm excited to see where it goes next and looking forward.
I think that I'm going to pose the questions and we'll discuss it, but I think I'm going to get them to blog it.
Yeah.
Because then I can go back and really read it.
Yep.
Not have to remember everything.
And if they blog it too, that creates an opportunity for the other classes that you're working with in the Twitter chat to maybe have conversations on their blogs with each other, or link, even start talking about not necessarily a blog hop, but even just linking to other blog posts that are similar, that have a similar focus.
Yep.
Yeah, that might be
awesome.
Maybe something to ask Melissa about. I'm sure she'd be game.
Yeah. Okay. Well, if you talk to Carrie again, tell her that I'll email her later and
whatnot. I will. What are you guys thinking for your next one? Couple weeks?
Probably March. Well, obviously March.
Yeah.
I didn't know if it would be better to go after March break in that week just before Easter.
Maybe. It's kind of a fun piece. Those 4 days I think are going to be challenging.
Yeah. So I think that might be, so we'll talk about what like a video that we think is good. I'll go through my file that I have and see what I haven't used yet. Although I could use something I have used and just look at it in a different way.
Yeah, that's true. So I think, I don't know if you're thinking about extending the group now. I think I would.
I think that we need to do it with us.
Yeah, I would be inclined to stick with just the group that you have now until you feel really comfortable doing what you're doing. And then down the road this year, or maybe waiting till the fall of next year, or even this year, inviting 1 or 2 more voices in near the end of the year, just to give them a taste of it, to help to engage some more teachers so they're thinking about it in the fall.
Yeah,
might be an option too. All right, awesome, cool. We'll have a fantastic day, and I will chat with you soon.
Thanks.
Awesome.
Bye, Lee.
Okay, see ya. Bye.